We're live. We are live. Got a different camera set up. It's throwing me off. I don't even know where to look. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
Act like it's not here.
Yeah, for real.
But we're back with the roundtable, the Roughnecks Roundtable. Reno, you're back.
Yes, man.
Hell
It's
yeah.
been a
It's
minute.
been way too long.
I don't know when the last time we did it. I think it was the last roundtable, not the last roundtable we did, but the last time we recorded was a roundtable, I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
Or a Q&A or
Was it
something.
outside?
it was legit a good
No.
a good 3 months ago.
Hell
Yeah, it had to be.
Easy.
Was it longer than that?
It might.
Was it before the volleyball tournament?
It was. Oh
It
my
was. It was before the volleyball
It's
tournament.
been like
I think.
6 months.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Welcome
been
back.
a while.
Dang.
Holy crap. But you're back.
Back,
We got a
man.
roundtable.
Things been nuts.
Yeah, for all of us. We were just
Sheesh.
talking off air about all the crazy stuff we got going on. It's just getting... Life gets crazy once we get older. I thought it got easier. No, it doesn't get easier. It just gets busier.
Busier and busier, and your energy levels are declining slowly too. Of just like, damn.
I don't know if my energy level is quite declining. My energy level in terms of like physical activity is declining, but in terms of like production, not necessarily.
Oh no, yeah. I'm just talking about like feeling tired, like
Oh, I'm-
24/7. I feel like.
I'll get home and like I'll be in the shower like falling asleep, and Sarah's
Right.
like, "Why are you so tired?" I'm like, honestly, I don't know. Like it's just I'm old.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm slamming at least 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day.
The days that like, we've had lately at work with it being cold and everything, we're just sitting at the shop. Like I drink at least a pot of coffee to myself.
Oh,
It's so easy.
especially that very first cup of coffee you have is usually like giant.
hmm
Like
Do you
that's
do-
the one that's got to get me
You
going.
drink black coffee? Just
No,
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
can't. I tried.
No, I can't either.
I did in
Dude,
college.
Creamer just makes it taste so much better.
So much
so
better.
much better.
Like I will say, I've heard that like black coffee, drinking black coffee is kind of like beer. You know how like probably the first time you ever tasted a beer, you're like, what the fuck is this?
That's
and
true.
And then you taste it again and again. It's like an acquired taste.
Kind of like bourbon too.
Yeah, I've heard black coffee is exactly like that. Like if you drink it, like force yourself to drink it like 3 or 4 times, you'll start to like it actually.
But you can't go wrong with like a fucking little bit of creamer, a little like French
Oh,
vanilla or something. What kind of creamer do you guys use?
Well, so
Are
we
you
moved,
like a milk and sugar guy, or are you a
No. So we'll usually just do like your standard, like French vanilla or something
Yeah.
like that. But we've recently gone to whipped cream
really?
instead, and
Okay.
and it's like this creamer whipped cream. So like you spray it on, and then it like melts into the coffee and becomes creamer. It's kind of
Okay.
dope.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I've never seen that. I feel like I'm probably a French vanilla,
That's what I have.
most likely.
Guys, we're not this old. Listen to us
Yeah,
talking
talking
about
about
coffee.
coffee.
Until I started scanning my shit though, and then I was like, "Fuck!"
Oh, is it bad?
Oh yeah, I scanned like 3 different ones when I was at the store the other day, and they were all bad.
Well, it's just probably sugar, right? It's
Yeah,
bad-
the sugar-free.
yeah.
Well, the sugar-free one actually, the Kroger brand sugar-free one was worse than the Coffee Mate one with sugar.
Oh, what the hell?
So it's brand dependent too. But Reno, what have you been up to? You got a lot. Hold on, before we get into everything that you've been up to, do we want to talk real quick about some of the other stuff that we were planning on talking about before you get into what you were talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause it takes priority.
Yeah. So first thing I want to talk about is rivalry week, which was absolutely insane for everybody. It was honestly, I think it was better than the October 12th week or whatever, that day that was supposed to be like the best week of college football.
Yeah.
I think rivalry week topped it
It was madness all around.
all around the entire country.
Everywhere. Every game had something going on.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know. I dig that a little bit.
That's
I
the
do.
best. It's like rivalries are what makes sports so cool,
Right.
man. And like, yeah, like at the end of the day, they might not mean that much, like win or loss wise, but it's like the tradition of the rivalry and like what it means to those teams is what it's so cool.
And,
Right.
like everyone's always like, give 100% every game, whatever. And then like you get in a rivalry game,
It's like 100%.
you're definitely giving
Yeah.
100%. Like
Dude, well,
you
it's
kick another
no
gear
different
in.
than like
Exactly.
in high school with like Heights. Like, I don't know if it was as big of a rivalry with you.
Oh, yeah.
I know it
Oh,
was.
yeah, I was about to say it's
we
always
still
been.
Yeah.
Right?
hated Heights.
Yeah.
But it was like, when you go in the play, I'm like, it just had that little bit of extra anger going into that game, or like that extra passion that just kind of came out. And it's like, it's same with me in college with Witt. Like that was our rival, and Denison. Like you go to play those teams, and there's just that, whether it's like from past years of losses or close games or whatever it is, but it's that little bit of extra that you can't really control. It's just like that extra oomph.
Well, because rivalry games are the one games that you pretty much like talk about all year.
Right.
and after the words. Like, I mean, in
It
high school,
lives with you the entire off season.
Yeah, like in high school, we're always talking about Heights or whatever there, like Ohio State, like, or being Ohio State fans. We're always like, oh, hate Michigan, hate Michigan, hate Michigan. You know,
4
it's
years
like,
ago, can you tell me what happened during Ohio State's entire season? You can tell me what happened during that Ohio State-Michigan game,
Yeah,
but you can't tell me what happened throughout the entire season.
yeah, that is true.
The rivalry
point.
games do matter
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, they do.
Because every game, like, I never wanted to hurt anybody. Like, I always wanted to wound them. That's what I said. I want to wound them. I don't want them to be out for the season. I want them
Right.
to be out for, like, the next drive or that
Right.
game
Yeah.
type of thing. But in rivalry games, I'm out to get you. Like, I'm out to take your fucking head off, dude.
Like, I'm
A little extra dirty. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trying to inflict pain.
Correct.
But we had all the flag plantings and celebrating on teams' logos. And I think Ohio State, that was the first game that it like started that day, was with the Michigan planting the flag in Ohio State and Jack Sawyer ripping it out of, I don't know whose hand, but I've never seen Jack Sawyer that mad in my entire life. And what are your thoughts on flag planting? Let's just go with flag planting first.
I think the flag planting's a little bit much.
I agree.
I think it's one thing to bring a flag
much.
out, maybe wave it around.
Correct.
But to plant the flag, that's getting almost disrespectful.
Very,
Right.
extremely.
And it was like, what was that one dude's name?
Baker.
No. Yeah.
He's who started it.
I think it was the Michigan linebacker who was like scraping up the Michigan State logo.
Yeah.
You remember that
Before the
happening?
game, right?
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, I get it. The shit talk, keep that up. I love that. The extra hits and, going past the
Little
whistle.
bit after the whistle.
Yeah, I dig all that. Flag planting,
I don't think it's necessary.
I don't think it's necessary. I think after the game, you're talking shit and like getting face to face. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
Dude, I think the thing that pissed me off the most about Michigan doing that is act like you've been there before. Y'all just won a national championship and you're like planting the flag and like you're the defending champs.
Yeah.
You should act like you've been there before and like,
I think
yeah,
they're
you
just
won.
they're just clowning Ohio State.
They are.
They're like,
They
look, we
are.
suck. We know we suck, but like, what are you guys
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah, definitely clowned them. I mean, I definitely agree with you though. I think it's a little much. Definitely keep the intensity and like the hatred per se, but I don't. That's just disrespectful.
It is. Yeah, and like I honestly really respected. I think it was Texas' head coach that they started to go towards the logo to celebrate. He ran and got him and said, "No, we're going to celebrate in the locker room."
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I like that. It's like, you know what? Like, we wanted to get, and it was the win with class kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like, I have no problem with you, jumping up and down on the logo, celebrating. But I think once again, you get the flag out and plant it. I think it's just a line of disrespect that you're crossing. So that's why honestly, like a lot of people were kind of like a little bit pissed off with Jack Sawyer's reaction, but at the same time, you have to understand, because I don't know, did you guys see the Jack Sawyer video?
Of him like ripping it out of the guy's
No, like him, well, that one, and then him like pissed right in front of Ryan
yeah,
Day. He said,
they were holding him
they're
back.
planting the fucking flag. This is fucking bullshit. Fuck those. Like, he was going off. There's a video of somebody on the field recording him, and he was pissed. But like a lot of people, some people were like, he's kind of acting like a child about it. And it's like, that was the whole reason he came back to Ohio. One of the big reasons he came back to Ohio State is they never beat Michigan. So a lot of reason that a lot of those people skipped out on draft and came back. They never beat Michigan. They didn't win the Big Ten. They haven't won a national championship. Like, they had all these goals. So like, I see why he's so pissed off, because that was his last chance to do it, and it's gone.
And he had such a good game.
Yeah,
He did.
So he
Best
was
game of
probably
his career,
He's
bro.
probably
Dude,
furious.
he was playing like that was
He played
by
so
far the
good.
best I've seen him play.
Yeah.
Not unlike Ohio State, but he played really good.
Yeah.
really well, bro.
Yeah.
That interception, I was so hyped when I was like, holy shit.
That was such a
no
shitty
way.
throw, though.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
Well,
he kind of baited it.
we were.
mentally
I was
a
talking
bit,
about it
too.
with someone. He actually got burned on it.
that's what
earlier
I'm
in the
saying.
game. So
Dump it like 2 feet higher.
It was a touchdown. All he had to do was, Jack's a big dude, but like, all you got to do is put a little bit more
Yeah.
loft on that, and it's a touchdown. But it was funny watching him catch it, because it looked like he was like, "Oh shit, I don't know what to do now." Like, he hasn't played offense since high school.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, along the same lines of like flag planting, though, what about like rushing the field?
See, that's another thing that I think is getting too much. Like, I get rushing the field for maybe a big upset win. Like, if Kent State beats Ohio State at Kent State, you should have 100% rush the field.
Could you imagine?
I couldn't, actually.
I can't either.
Did you just break through the door?
I
Yes,
thought-
you did. Go on. All right, I'm going to take the dog upstairs.
Hi, Poochie.
Come on, boy. Come on. Let's go.
So do you think rushing the field is too much? Or do you agree with Cole of like it's getting to be too much with like how often it's happening?
Yeah, it's got to be a serious upset.
Yeah.
Then it's like, all right, go for it.
Yeah, I agree. Like
Or winning something big, massive upset. I get the rush on the field.
like the Iron Bowl when Auburn ran that the missed field goal back. Like, dude, yeah. Rush the field, man.
Just leave the goalpost alone.
Yeah,
I don't know. I kind of like when they take the goalpost all the way to the river.
It is funny, but like, dude, who has to replace those?
That's
like,
what if they have a home game the next week? Like,
Right.
where do they get another goalpost that fast?
dude.
They got extras?
Yeah,
Like,
bro.
dude, I don't know.
Like, yeah, who sells goalpost? I think it started becoming a problem in basketball. Players were getting hurt as they were getting hurt walking off the court.
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark. There was the Duke. I think one of the Duke men's players too. But I that's why they implemented. I think the fining. They started fining the schools for if you rush the field. And it's like $100,000, which to them, like Ohio State, that's probably like whatever.
Depending on the school, though, man. If you find like a smaller school, like Ohio State's in a $1 billion program, football wise. But if you find like maybe an Ohio University, right, 100,000, like that might take away from like one of their.
That could take a scholarship.
Yeah,
away.
take a scholarship away. Like that takes a whole entire player off the field in a sense.
And they're finding the university, not just like the football program.
Yeah.
Right.
So the students could be like, "What the?" Of course, the students are the one doing it. Sometimes they're
Yeah,
part
true.
of it, but I don't know.
I'd hate to be that one guy, like your one job, like you prepare all week, like it's a big game, and they're like your boss is like, hey, your one job is to protect the goalposts. Then you just get
Fuck that, I quit.
Like there's no protecting it. When you have like 60 people like jumping on it and like rushing you, yeah,
That's why they have like people literally in like a circle around it, like multiple people. They can't leave
locked
one.
arms, it's like.
But then again, like,
Red
all
Rover.
it takes is somebody to jump, like lift somebody up to jump on it, and those things also come off very easily.
No kidding. They do
Yeah.
fall like pretty easily.
And how does nobody ever get hurt in that aspect?
Yeah, when they fall, or maybe they do, and just they don't talk about it. It's like man smashed on football field by goalposts. It's like,
Well, I saw something, and this could be just completely nonsense, but I saw it and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of interesting." They might fine college players now who get NIL, so
Ooh.
it could be fined to the players.
How is that?
I don't know. That's why I don't know how true this is, or someone just thinking this thing,
The
or
logistics behind it is complicated.
I have
though.
no idea. I was like, "That's interesting."
Yeah.
but
I mean, if they find the school, and maybe the school could start finding, the school themselves could find the players, but I just don't know how, like, the NCAA would be, like, compare two people, like, let's say, Shadur Sanders, absolute, like, money, NIL, right? They could find him, he'd be like, okay. And then think of, like, third string quarterback, if he somehow got like an unsportsmanlike or did something and they find him, it's like, dude, I don't even find me.
yeah, then who do you find?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what money are you gonna take? I don't
Like
have
I could
any,
see
bro.
like giving Jack Sawyer a fine for that, or whoever planted the flag from Michigan, finding that individual player for things like that. But like if you'd have to find individual circumstances. I
But
guess.
also, where's that NIL like coming from? So you can't really take away their NIL that they got from like a company.
Right,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Unless they take away part of the scholarship, which is something I learned.
Ooh.
So you ready for this?
Yeah.
So I guess backstory. I had dinner with the head coach of Kent State a month ago, and it was a really good chat. Like it was. Do I still think he should be coaching? That's a different
Was
story.
it the same coach?
Same
you
coach.
had?
No.
Oh, okay.
Different coach.
Okay.
So he came in 2 years ago, went 1-11 last year, went 0-12 this year.
They were the worst team in college football, weren't they?
Dude, it's a total embarrassment. But
I remember when they played Tennessee and like the first half was like 56-0.
Dude.
I was like, oh my God.
and what sucks is, and we actually talked about that, is that all that money, the football team sees zero of that. It goes to the athletic program.
No way.
So they can disperse that money wherever they want. Like when we played like Ohio State and Alabama, they got like new turf for the field hockey team. Nothing against the field hockey team. But what the fuck? We went down there and got our asses kicked,
Right.
and we didn't see a dime of that.
Damn, I thought it went to like the football program.
No, it goes to the athletic program.
Wow.
But
That was kind of going off of that. I know Ohio Wesleyan had a similar thing where you can make specific donations, like boosters can make specific donations they found out there was one. The weight room is named after him. He was an ex-football player, and he has a lot of money. And he donated to the football program while he was talking to the head coach one day. And he's like, "Hey, did you get that? That donation?" And my coach was like, "What donation?" Come to find out, they didn't. They gave it to like the volleyball team or something.
Dude, same thing happened to James Harrison at
Really?
Kent. So he donated a shit ton of money, and all they did was put his name on the weight room. And like that was it. And then similar situation. He's like, "Where did the money go?" And they're like, "Well, it got dispersed out." He's like, "No, I wanted it to go to this specific
thing.
area." So then we had freaking James Harrison night, and guess who doesn't show up because he's so pissed off? James Harrison.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
like
no,
That does
like,
not look good on the
sense.
university.
right. But anyway, back to the like the scholarship thing. So, because I was asking about, what's up with the NIL? Like, do you guys have any money? Do you have any boosters? And he's just like, no, like a lot of boosters don't believe in that kind of talking. Some do, some don't. So it's really hard to get money at Kent. And he's like, we can't buy any players. We can't keep any players because like they had a stud defensive lineman got stolen by Indiana. And they're like, hey, here's $250,000 to come play for us. And so he comes walking in my office and he's like, I just got this. And he's like, what am I supposed to say to him?
Yeah.
You better take that and go. That's life-changing money type
Right.
thing. It's like they can't compete. But what they can do now, and it's still in the courts, is that they can now offer a scholarship plus one or plus two to one individual. So if they have 109 total scholarships, let's say Dante, really good player, here's a scholarship plus one.
So 2 scholarships.
So you take 2 scholarships and you get the cash value of that second scholarship.
That's sick.
Damn.
That's actually, I like that because there are schools that they're just not going to have the capital like other big schools.
Right. So he said that might save them, like those smaller schools. That might save them, but also that's going to take away some scholarships.
Yeah.
That you got to give, and scholarships renew every year. I don't know if a lot of people know that. Like, it's not like once you sign, you're in for your entire tenure there. It's yearly.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to earn it,
Yeah.
and so that's really interesting that they can give multiple scholarships out to a single player and offer that as kind of like NIL in a way, like buy players with that. But he also said what's like to the transfer portal. He said these big schools like the Power Fives they're living in the transfer portal now and don't really recruit a ton of high school kids.
Right.
And he said now that's leaving 4-star, 5-star high school kids for the smaller schools. He said so their recruiting is still heavily in high school, and now they're getting better players out of high school to come up to those smaller schools in hope that, maybe they can keep them somehow.
Yeah, that's the other. But it's almost turning into will it turn into almost like a JUCO type thing where people would go play a couple of years of JUCO to go to that D1, or so are they going to go to these small schools to hope to go to one of the big Power 5 schools in a way?
Yeah.
So that's the other issue is retaining them. But like you said, if you don't have $250,000 to throw at an athlete,
What do you do?
how do you? I mean, I get if it's like, all right, here's $200 to stay here or $250 to go here. Like, okay, yeah, it's $50,000 difference. Doesn't sound like it sounds like a lot, but really, it's not a ton. But it's really hard to keep someone when big schools are willing to offer them crazy money.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of crazy that they can buy players out of high school too. Like the whole Michigan thing where they've had that quarterback that flipped $20 million. Dude, how can you offer them that much money and they haven't even played a single down of college football? I don't understand it. I feel like they should have to at least like play a game,
Right.
or like you have to like be there, play a game before you can even start getting
like 1 year minimum or something.
Yeah, something.
I mean, look at Arch Manning. He was making how much money last year, and that's why people are like, why is he not transferring? Because he's making fucking stupid money to
Yeah.
be the backup quarterback.
And he wants to play for that coach too. That's
Yeah.
his like main thing.
And when he does get any balls,
Yeah, literally.
he is pretty good,
Yeah,
man.
I should've
put him in
He's
last
real
night.
good. Yeah.
But yeah, it's the NIL world it's so crazy. Like I almost, now granted, I don't think it happens at the D3 level nearly, obviously, the same way that it happens at like the D1 level. But I remember like right when it kicked in, like there was a couple of kids that I knew one of the coaches at Ohio Wesleyan. I was like, any of them got NIL deals? And they're like, yeah, they got like these stupid little ones in town, but nothing crazy.
Like mom pa shops.
Yeah.
Come in, you get free sandwiches.
Yeah,
Or,
Right.
you got a
Hey,
sandwich
but
named
still,
after
like,
you. As a
that
college kid, that
dude,
helps.
hell yeah.
Something.
Hell yeah.
I
I
mean-
always tell people, like, when I played small D1 school, And I had like the scholarship checks, especially when I lived off campus. They gave us checks like every semester, and that was for like rent and food and stuff. We were just fine. I'm telling you, like, we were just fine. Had plenty of money, especially at like that level. There were some kids who saved that and ended up buying a car like after like when they got done. We were just fine. And
well,
now
didn't you say that you pretty much like, because you had a kid, what, right? Senior year of college?
Yeah.
And that was like your money to really get by.
Thank God I saved that money because then like after I'm like, holy shit, I gotta get a job now at this point. Like the old naive me. Like I had that money saved up and we lived off of that for a year. That was our rent money for a solid year.
Right. Yeah.
Luckily. Or else we would have been like some trouble.
Right.
We would have been in some trouble.
And that's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, I don't like money in college. Dude, money is all like even under the table stuff of like people like you can't confirm or deny it, but I guarantee it's happened before NIL. It's just public information now. But dude, people are getting like paid, or there's like, oh, I'll give your mom a job here if you come here, you know, shit like that. Like it's always happened, man.
Right.
There's so many ways you can get around stuff too.
Right.
Like there'd be like walk-ons who'd be pretty good, but they didn't have a scholarship for them, so they would give their family a university job. So then they technically wouldn't have tuition because they had family member working for the university.
Yeah.
So they'd get, it would be like a full ride.
Yeah.
But the job would be something like that they're not doing anything. It'd be like a made up job.
Yeah. Like once a month, just come in and shred these papers.
Yeah.
Paper shredding, you know?
But like with that said, I am so pro player. Like whatever they got to do to let the player, like, I don't like the politics behind everything. The NCAA, I hate the NCAA, but the players treat them right because most programs are just numbers.
Right.
Like, and especially at like the MAC level, like we're definitely just numbers because those coaches are trying to move up.
Yeah.
Right.
You rarely have a long-term like MAC coach or like Mountain West coach.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really rare to happen. So I'm always pro
Heck,
player.
it's even getting to the point now, and look at our Alabama's new head coach. He left after going to the national championship, or what?
With Washington?
Washington
Yeah.
went to the national championship. Next year he's gone, and it's like that's crazy. Which also, have you guys seen like the whole thing of like with Nick Saban retiring, it affected like 500 coaches or something because like. So the Washington coach went to Alabama, and he brought a couple people with him, which also opened up positions at Washington. It was like crazy. Like there was like a 500 person swap essentially.
That's actually crazy.
And it's like the effect of Nick Saban retiring.
That's wild.
That's insane.
Nahum and McAfee just going off.
Yeah.
Love that.
When he made his pick for the Georgia-Texas game, I was like, he is not about to do it again. Where he did what he did last year. He sang the Georgia crap fight song, whatever the hell that thing is, and then he was give me Alabama. But this year he was like Georgia, and I was like, wow, that was standing up on his seat.
Yeah.
But yeah, McAfee, I love McAfee. I was talking to my boss about it today. I said, honestly, I think he's like the best thing to happen to college football, like in that aspect of college football, just because like he's just so, and having Saban with him is the combination that nobody knew he needed.
He literally, yeah.
And having Belichick come on his show too, like during the week when he has Belichick on, I'm like, that. Who would have thought this? Saban and Belichick, the two people that people were like, they don't even like interviews usually. They just kind of like try to mind their own business, and now they're on TV all the time.
I feel like that's just like the way of the culture. I feel like there's been a culture change in the past like 2 years or something with like college football and like politics, where like people are way more relaxed and not so professional. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like there used to be those four guys doing college, you know, going over the games and stuff, super professional, and like, oh, great player here and this, and then now it's like, these motherfuckers are, you know, it's like
you got Pat
totally
taking
right.
his shirt off,
Drinking, showing up drunk.
Then you got like a Trump who's out there like saying some wild shit. It's like, what is going on, man?
That's what we were talking. Me and my boss were talking about too. He said he's loosened up Herb Street and all those guys because it's not as business anymore. It's more. It's like we're still having the same conversation, but we're gonna have fun with it all at the same time.
Yep.
So. Yeah.
But
what do you guys go ahead?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like talking to Kent's Kent State's head coach, and like, cause I feel like I watched a few of their games just like when they were on like a random Thursday or like one of the weird days during the week, and there's nothing to watch. No offense, but
None taken.
yeah. But like, what do you think the problem is? Because like obviously against the big schools, against when you play a Tennessee, something like obviously like money's probably a thing there, but what about against like the other MAC schools? Because they're all facing the same issue. So what do you think like is specific about Kent, or is it just have been a bad couple years?
What sucked was not to. I want to say this carefully because I'm not trying to give him a crutch,
Of course.
on like an excuse on why they have won one game in the past 2 years. Unacceptable, regardless. But they had Sean Lewis was their head coach, and they balled out like every year he was there. He could arguably be one of the best Kent State coaches from how he turned them around, took them to bowl games, all kinds of things. Then he got the OC job at Colorado, and when he left, a mass exodus happened at Kent. And like the current head coach, Kenny Burns, who's like, there were 55 players I didn't even see, and they were out, and the portal jumped. And then the following year, we had a whole bunch of guys getting bought out. He said, so I'm left with freshmen, like true freshmen trying to play and learn the system and get used to the physicality and get bigger. And he's like, it's really hard to put freshmen in there, but that's all I got.
With no experience.
Right.
And he said, and the only way I'm going to get them experience to be better next year is to play them.
Yep.
He said, so it really sucks. I know when I look out there and I see two true freshmen starting linebackers, that's a little scary. He said, do I think we're going to win another game this year? I don't know. Even he was like, I don't know. So you kind of knew that they weren't very good just with that mass exit. But also, I don't think they're doing a very good job at all. I hope they hear this. I don't think they're doing a good job at all leveraging the alumni. At all.
Yeah.
Like even though we're doing so bad, we're constantly talking, how can we fix this? How can this happen? And then all of a sudden Josh Cribbs comes out. I don't know if you guys saw this. Comes out and he's like, I'm going to assemble a coaching staff and I want to pull a Dion and go back to Kent State and coach.
That'd be sweet.
Oh, we're like, let's go.
That would be insane.
I mean, look what Dion's done. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really necessarily like him, and I don't think he's a bad coach, but like he has taken a program that was they won 2 games, and then they won 4 games last year, or 6 last year.
Kent State could be the next Colorado if freaking Josh Cribbs comes in with a stacked.
Nobody thought that a fucking Colorado would do what they did. Like no one, if you'd asked me 5 years ago, hey, Colorado is going to be in the top 25, I'd have been like, what?
Right.
Like they get like 7 wins? What happened?
So we're hoping. So, I mean, even like I played at a golf outing at OU. Like my dad played there, and one of their guys fell through, so I subbed. I was kind of in enemy territory. But that entire outing, 100% of the money went to NIL. 100%. And then they were raffling off like little plastic helmets, and these ex-alumni just throwing thousands of dollars at this shit just for players. And the head coach, even before the outing, was like, we need to buy players, guys. Like, this is the new era. We need to buy players. So any money you have, please give it to us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like, it's
First
not.
off, you guys probably have a lot of rich alumni. Let's be real. Anybody, like every college has somebody that has a lot of money.
Somebody made it. Dude.
Yeah.
Someone made it out to
Like
the
you
top
have a very
percent.
good chance of like at least 1% of
Right.
them making it.
Not like I'm sure they're reaching out to James and Edelman and a couple other the big name guys. I'm sure they are. Like that'd be dumb. Like if they weren't, that'd be crazy.
Yeah,
but
they're
I'm
probably
sure they
like,
are.
why am I going to donate to a team that hasn't won a fucking game all year?
Yes, but what about all the other ones? Like we're just looking for something, any way to help.
Right.
And so I'm actually starting the little NIL package for. So you guys know the 54 story.
I don't.
Yeah.
So when I played my junior year, our starting center, Jason Bitsko, he randomly at practice, we go to practice, he didn't show up. We're like, where's Jason? Like, what is he doing? Nothing, couldn't hear from him. Then they sent one of the GAs to go check on him, found him dead. So he died in his sleep.
Holy shit.
And he wore number 54. So they started a tradition. Every player, like the most deserving offensive lineman, gets to wear number 54. And it's been a tradition since I've been there. And I was fortunate to be the first one to get it. So that's it's like near and deep to me.
Right.
Like that 54 number is really important. And so I want to start the NIL package where, and it's getting the money. I don't think is going to be a problem because we could do squares. We could do all kinds of different things. If we charge $100 a square, boom, we just got a $10,000 or whatever it is. But whoever receives number 54, give them their plaque, all the like the number and everything, then also give them, boom, here's a check for X amount of however much we can get every year. So I'm trying to get that rolling. And I'm working with their alumni guy. He came to the dinner too, and I was telling him the idea. He's like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, I need receipts on exactly where this money is going to go, though. Like, I'm not going to try to do this if I don't know that it's going 100% of that is going to that player.
Right.
So we'll see. But I'm probably going to do like Super Bowl squares and just maybe playoff squares just to start it. Yeah. And then just obviously the little GoFundMe or something like that.
I mean, dude, honestly, starting it's obviously the hardest part, bro. But once there's traction there and stuff, and it's probably gonna really take off. So that's awesome.
I hope.
You just thought of it one day, and it was like, yeah, dude, that's sick.
Because I used to go back to and speak on it, like every 54 announcement, whoever the player would be, I used to go and like present it and like kind of tell the story, then give it to them. That just like kind of stopped. When I was like, what the, like, come on.
Yeah, you
can't lose this.
Keep that tradition alive. It's became a tradition at this point that you can't let die.
Yep. So
they still give out the jersey though.
Yeah, still give it out, but it's not like a big deal anymore. I'm like, this is a big deal.
People probably don't really know the story behind it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's how I am when I go and speak to the team. I'm like, look, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, and I just go on the rant.
Yeah.
And no rant.
Yeah. Reno's rants.
Dear man, dear. Anyway, I'm excited for it.
It would make sense though if it had lost its like tradition factor. If a bunch of people did leave and it was like freshmen, because freshmen don't know the tradition. If they don't have the older guys to look up to tell them the tradition, then it's just lost. It's lost, you know.
Can give some money to the O lineman.
Yeah, no, that's. I feel like
the guys in the
little special touch to your heart.
In the trenches don't get nothing.
Do O linemen get a lot of deals? Like I know the big tackle from Colorado. The blind side, like the dude who protects Shadur's blind side, he's like a freshman. I'm pretty sure he has like hell of money.
I'm sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure anybody on in Colorado is making bank.
Yeah, probably.
Freaking Dion's probably like, here's what you need to do. Go talk to this.
Yeah, but naturally, I feel like linemen probably don't get a lot of deals, right?
This is like your senior center, or your senior, like they've been around for a while. They might get something, but they know backups getting.
Right.
No. They might get a freaking McDonald's deal.
Yeah.
What are you? The Monster Shake deal?
Monster Shake deal? Oh. Handles ice cream. Yeah. Come on. Sponsor the Roughnecks podcast.
No, that's awesome though, man. Nice little NIL deal.
Yeah, that'll be good. I mean, I feel like you said, the money's not going to be the issue. It's just making sure it goes to the right place.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I could send 5 group chats out like, hey, I'm starting this.
Yeah.
Who wants in? Like, I know people are on funnel and now
people are like $100 a square. Here's fucking $1,000. Give me whatever.
Yeah. Just give me 1 square, but here's $1,000.
The thing, so like with NIL, like, because I know it's mostly boosters. So like with Kent State, do they just have an NIL collective specifically for the football team, or is it kind of still the same point where it goes into a pool for all sports?
I think it's whoever creates the package gets to determine where it goes.
Okay.
Like, I think if they're just like, yeah, use it for NIL, it could go who knows where.
You know what I mean?
But if you have to put like a specific tag on it for it to go to that spot, I think. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so new that like I don't know if anybody really knows all about it.
No.
But I mean, it's such an interesting time in college football to think that a high school quarterback can get paid $20 million to go to a school. Like it's a 4-year, $20 million deal. I'm like, how is that even possible? So
it's like interesting in terms of freaking NIL and now a 12-team playoff that was just announced today.
Yeah.
Which what I love to I don't know, I think it was Reese or whatever, the one of the like game day people. They were
Reese Davis.
Yeah, he was talking about it and he goes, a lot of people thought that we were going to a 12-team playoff and it would get rid of that debate of who gets in when it doesn't matter how many teams, or Saban I think said it, and he goes, Reese, you deal with it with college basketball. It doesn't matter if you have 68 teams, you're still going to have teams that are left out that should have been in.
Right.
Like it's always going to be. What do you guys like the 12 team? Or do you wish it was 4? Do you wish we went back to the BCS days?
No, man, I think the 12 team is like really open the game up.
I think it's going to give us a lot of good football.
Yes, that's why I like it. I think there's going to be some good, like good games, good upsets.
Yeah.
Like
and teams that have never played each other before, ever getting to play each other, man. Because like with the 4 teams, like for a while it was like the same couple teams every year, dude.
Well, like what? Ohio State's been to how many? Clemson's been to how many? Freaking Georgia's been to how many now? Notre Dame even though I think Notre Dame sucks, but
Bama.
Well, not this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I give a lot of credit to the committee this year. I think this was the best year in terms of picking the top teams. I don't necessarily like the whole thing with conference winner bye, the whole thing they're doing with that, like Arizona State getting a bye, Boise State getting a bye. I feel like the top 4 teams should get a bye.
No, I feel like it sets a precedent though, because you could say, oh, okay, so the top 4 teams should get a bye, but then there's someone who won their conference. They did everything they had to do in their conference to win that conference. Why shouldn't they get rewarded for it? You know?
And
right,
they have
but
to
I
play
think
the
they still
extra.
get in.
They have to play the extra game
Well, Clemson
for the conference.
Yeah, that's why they get the bye. Then that makes sense.
But then again, Clemson won theirs, and they don't get a bye because they go off the Power 5 conferences.
That is true. Yeah.
So.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
I like that they did take the worst team of the ones, and that I think that's probably how they do it. Like the top 4 conference championships get a bye, or conference champions get a bye. The other one, because I think Clemson was actually a 12 seed because of the fact that they were the worst team to get in.
I mean, that and dude, beginning of the year, I thought Clemson was done for. I thought.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah, dude. And then they
lost the
flipped
first
it
couple.
around. They flipped it around for
That's
sure.
like I thought they were like going to be like Florida State, where
yeah,
which I haven't even heard anything else about Florida State. I don't even know how they finished this year.
Well, they're getting some good recruits though.
They're right there with Kent, man.
Dude, somehow they're getting really good recruits still right now. Like
They still got hella money.
I still think
of
it's so
course.
funny though how Florida State last year thought they should have been in the playoffs, and then this year they come and shit the bed completely, and it's like, no, you shouldn't have. Apparently,
I mean, dude, Florida and Florida State this year both ass, and they're typically both pretty like iconic teams.
Yeah. At least like media, like above 500, like a decent team,
Yeah.
like a team that you're scared to play because you could lose to it. I mean, teams playing Florida State this year are probably just like, whatever.
Yeah.
I do like that Miami's good.
Yeah.
I like when Miami's good. I don't something about Miami. It feels like
Bring back the old days.
it's like I think it's still
Catholics
carryover
versus
from that.
convicts. What do you guys think? You guys want to do a prediction bracket?
Yeah,
We
on
could
who
do that.
wins?
Clemson versus Texas.
Texas,
Or Tennessee versus Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Tennessee,
I have Ohio State the first one. SMU, Penn State.
Penn State.
Penn State. Nah, SMU's good though.
Are they?
Yeah,
Dude, Penn
they're
State played
sneaky.
their best football game of the year last night. Dude. They played so well.
Penn State's really good.
Yeah.
They're still gonna win, but SMU's
They're the real deal.
sneaky.
Yeah. Indiana, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Oh.
I think Indiana's about a year away
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
being
I'd probably
from
say
being
Notre
really
Dame.
I think
good.
they got exposed against Ohio State of how they haven't played anybody this year and how it kind of came. It all came to the surface.
Feels like a
of
new culture.
Yeah, but I think
They're gonna be good.
I think they had potential to be
That
good.
coach he's cool.
Hey, look me up. I
Yeah.
win.
Google me.
So Texas, Arizona State,
Texas,
Yeah, Texas for sure.
Tennessee or Ohio State versus Oregon.
Ohio
Oregon.
State.
I got Oregon. I got Ohio State losing to Oregon on that.
Nah, dude, not the rematch.
Yeah.
Neutral ground rematch.
I just my problem is Ohio State, not who they're playing. With
Nah.
how Ohio State.
But Ohio
plays.
State wants to be the best team they can.
This is true.
Yeah.
They want to
Depends
be.
on if their play callers are all on the same page.
Yeah, they probably should throw it to their studs. Huh? I don't know.
Yeah, not getting a.
Let's run right out the
they got-
strongest link of the chain here.
Yeah, they got in a who's more manly run battle against
Yeah.
a team who wanted you to run the clock out the entire game.
Yeah, I usually don't like criticize play calling, but
The two, in
what?
my, in my
What were they
opinion,
doing?
the two games Ohio State lost this year were play calling. First, it was defensively against Oregon. Second, it was offensively against Michigan. In my opinion, not that it matters, but that's what I feel.
Well, we got outcoached by Oregon too, dude. Dan Lanning is a great football coach.
he would be fun to play for.
Yes, dude.
Yes.
He.
smashing a freaking.
But also, I
helmet
would hate
with
to
a
be
hammer.
like on his bad side
Oh
too.
my,
Yes.
yeah, dude. I can't imagine him getting in your face.
I feel like if you piss him off at practice one time and you're like a walk on or something, you will never see him.
Oh, he
Like,
probably
he'll never
put them
talk to you.
through hell. He probably puts them through hell. But hey, it works.
Yeah, #1 team in the country,
Yeah, Notre Dame, Georgia,
Georgia.
Georgia.
and then we have Texas. versus Oregon, Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Texas. I like Texas.
I do like
Texas is
Texas.
good.
I like Texas a lot.
I just wish
If
they.
Ohio State beats Oregon, though, they're beating Texas.
I'll give you that.
I'm telling you, bro. If Ohio State gets on a roll, if they actually play like I know they can play football, then they're gonna win the whole thing.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they'll see Georgia in the national championship, and we're gonna fucking smoke them.
Dude, I think their center going down really hurt them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, that's the heart of your line. He's a senior,
Mhm.
right?
Did I do
Yes.
Penn State, Boise?
No, but
Penn State.
yeah, I'd like to say Big Ten wins there. I mean, Ohio State ran. The
I'd
ball-
love to see that upset, though.
Ohio State ran the ball pretty well against Penn State, though. I'm pretty sure if I remember the game correctly. And
But aren't all Boise's like games super high scoring?
I have no
yeah,
idea.
their defense isn't that. Good.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if they go up against an elite offense,
Yeah, who can pass the ball because they can't. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they just run it.
Notre Dame, Georgia.
Georgia.
Georgia, Penn State. That'll be a good game.
Georgia's the same as Ohio State. If they play like
Is their quarterback back?
he got whacked, dude. Oh my god, he got whacked.
That looks like it did hurt.
But that backup quarterback isn't bad, man.
Well, then the backup came in and got whacked.
The backup's he's a gamer.
Didn't his
though.
helmet pop off?
Yeah,
it
that was
did.
one of the hardest hits I've
Yeah.
seen in a long
He got
time.
smacked, but he's a gamer. So,
I did
mean,
see
I would
one thing
take
that
him.
said not everything's targeting. Sometimes it's just a hard hit.
That way.
I think the issue with Penn State is quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, that 44
But
for Penn State is a dog.
He is a dog.
He is a fucking
That's
animal.
why That's why Ohio State beat him, dude. They did not get 44 involved in the game at all. I think he had one target.
Yeah, he's number one tight end for sure.
For sure.
Dude, that first game I was watching them, it was Penn State versus Illinois, maybe. I don't remember. It went into overtime. It was October 12th that day when I was over watching the Ohio State-Oregon game at a friend's house, and me and Sierra watching the game, and I was like, that dude, I love him. I was like, he reminds me of like a Taysom Hill. And I was like, somebody you don't want on your fantasy team because usually you never know what stats they're going to put up, but they're like the heart of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And then that game, he had like freaking 260 yards or something.
He's like a little shorter version of Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
That it reminded me of like a Peyton Hillis too for some
they
reason.
put him all over too, man.
Tight end,
Yeah.
quarterback, wide receiver,
running
running back. He plays line technically sometimes.
Yep.
He should have caught that one last night though, where they lined him up. They went quick, lined him up at
As a tackle.
and he went straight. And it was a little high, but I was like, damn it, that was huge. They needed
Yeah.
that.
Well, if he would have snagged that with one hand, it would have been nuts.
But Texas, and then we have the whole discrepancy. It could be freaking Ohio State or Oregon versus Texas. And Dante said Ohio State. Reno said Texas. Okay, Texas, Georgia. Or did you guys pick Georgia over Penn State? I guess we never actually answered that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a hard one.
That's a tough one. If I had to put money on it, I'd go Georgia.
I would too.
Because you never know. If
I
they
feel
play
like that's
good,
the
they're
safe
better
one.
than them.
Yeah,
And their defense is elite, man.
there is. So Georgia versus, we'll say if it's Georgia, Ohio State, what happens?
Ohio State.
Georgia.
Ohio State.
Fucking missed the kick again, probably.
No, Ohio State's coming for blood, man. I'm telling you. If we go through the gauntlet, because we probably have the hardest path out of any team.
You know what my worry
Definitely
is
beating
about going
Georgia.
through the gauntlet?
Injuries.
Who's gonna get hurt?
Yeah.
You're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4 top 10 teams.
Yeah.
And Ryan,
Yeah, right.
Ryan Day ain't going to take out the starters. Because if Ohio State loses, I think he's gone. If they don't win the national championship, I think Ryan Day's gone.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He
probably.
has to make he has to at least make it to the Final Four or championship to have a chance
Agreed.
to stay.
Dude, the shitty thing about it, man, is if you look at him on paper, he's a great
That's
dude,
where I
his
struggle.
record's good, great, but it's just the games, the big games, we lose them, and he gets out coached is the main thing.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not the players, it's literally coaching.
Ohio State has so much talent
Yeah.
every single year. So much talent. And they rely on that too much. This is my hot take on Ohio State. They rely on their talent too much to win them games. And then when they're matched up against talent for talent to talent, they get out coached.
Yep.
They get out schemed.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, it's They do get out coached.
But who am I?
But that's what's crazy is Ryan Day has that's his first unranked loss. I'm pretty sure that's the first time he's lost to an unranked team.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And it's Michigan
Yeah.
again. Dude, you can't lose
It's
3
double-
times
double
as they.
whammy.
Isn't that 4?
Was he
Yeah,
the
that's
coach
4.
during the
That's
first
his
one?
4th time.
Oh no, this would be his. Is this 4th? Was Ryan Day because Urban Meyer lost his last year, right, to Michigan?
Urban went 7-0.
Oh, then yeah, it is
Oh,
4 then.
Dang.
And
Yeah.
then we go up next year to the big house, bro.
Somebody's gonna plant a flag if we win. They're gonna
I
try.
hope not.
Oh, Jesus.
I hope not.
Players are going to get shot this
Literally,
time.
bro.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, but if it's Georgia Texas, 3rd rematch of Georgia Texas, that could go either way.
Yeah,
I think, man.
probably Texas.
I want to take Texas.
I want to take Texas too.
but something's telling me Georgia.
Hold on, has Georgia won every time they played so far?
No, Texas won the first one.
Oh, so
against
it's
Georgia.
1-1.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
That's what sucks about some of those teams. It's like, oh, we're about to have new teams in this playoff, and I guarantee those powerhouses about to turn it around. And I bet Georgia comes through.
Yeah.
Georgia probably has they have one of the easiest routes. Who has the easiest route looking at this? Texas wouldn't play anybody like truly good until they play in the semis, which would either be Oregon, Ohio State, or Tennessee. Georgia would play Indiana or Notre Dame, and then like Boise or Penn State probably.
Yeah,
I think Georgia's
Georgia's
going to make a
close.
run. I think they're
Yeah.
going to make a run.
They only got to win 2 games.
Yeah, that's
I
low-key
don't
a
know.
cakewalk for Georgia.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm curious. It's going to be fun to watch all of the games.
Now, do we think they ever expand it more? Or
I hope not.
I
don't
think
think
not
you go-
for a
is-
while.
the 12 is cool, man.
12, I feel like, is like the max you could really go. Smack that motherfucker wherever he went.
Was that a little gnat?
Yeah. I'll be sitting down here on my computer, and all of a sudden I'm like a fucking cat. Like, what the fuck is that? But yeah, I don't think you go. I don't think you can go past 12 because going past 12, you're kind of taking the
That's a lot of football, man.
Oh, I was about to say that's a long season.
yeah
and,
because
like,
this
that's
is
a
already
long
going to
road.
what, like January 20th or something is the national championship.
Yeah. When does like spring semesters start?
Typically, like it'd be after the new year. I think my like Christmas break was from
So like beginning of February, end of January?
yeah, it was. I think
Yeah.
my Christmas break was like
Yeah, you don't even get a break.
December. It was like December,
Straight into spring ball.
mid-December to mid-January. Oh damn! Yeah.
Right into it.
Damn. If you go to the national,
Yeah.
they have to have probably a little bit of a break.
2
if you
weeks
go to
probably
that.
max. That's
Yeah.
it though.
Dude,
'Cause
you're
then you have
still
to
not
start-
healed from that.
No, you have to start weight training again.
Right away.
And then spring semester is when the good new recruits come in, start learning the system. Yeah, dude, that's actually fucked.
Then after the season, if you got to get something like fixed or, a little
Surgery.
scope or something, like at least you had 8 months. Like you could
Mhm.
skip through spring ball if you had to, like get back into it before the season started. But
Right.
now, like
Damn.
extended another 2 months, it's going rehab better be good.
I mean-
Unless it's something
I mean,
serious.
honestly,
Because
they
usually it was
might-
done by New Year's.
They might have to shorten the season a bit, like the regular season.
They were just talking today on the playoff selection about how they have to expand the season to play more teams because of like the debates between things, and it was like, good God, how do you expand the season even more?
Yeah,
Cut out the
no.
first 3 games with all the cupcakes.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, I mean, Ohio State's first game next year is Texas.
Hell yeah. Start off
So,
0-1.
let me ask you this though. I don't know when the date is for it, but how do you prepare if you're, say, Oregon starting now? Who are you preparing for?
Both.
And how does that go though? So like
you have like one day, one session preparing for
until
one
the
team,
game, and
another-
then
yeah.
you'll know.
Yeah, but you don't like dive deep into both. You do like light schemes
Yeah.
of each.
Most popular formations and
Mhm.
different.
Which some of them probably
Defenses
cross
against
over a
this,
touch. Like
Yeah.
that because that'd be the tough spot. Is like, all right, we have to have practice for this week. Like we're not just gonna take the week off, but like. And I guess you could almost do like what we talked about with Scott, like a self-scout week a little bit too.
But also, like, think about it. Oregon's already played Ohio State. They already had a
That
full scout week of
But
Ohio
it's
State.
different for
They're
a team like Arizona State who's never played Texas or Clemson.
Yeah, of course.
It gives them a week advantage of like going back because usually you scout previous 3 games,
Mhm.
or you scout whatever team is similar to your offense
Mhm.
or similar to your defense. And so they get a leg up on that. They can already go through all of that, and
Yeah.
because the computer systems are nuts. You just type in cover 4, and when we're in trips, well, like you do all kinds of
Yeah.
different stuff, and it's already like pre-planned ahead.
And at this point in the season, there's so much film too. So
There
like,
is.
yeah, like, whereas if it's the first game of the season, like you have last year's film, but you don't have like a lot.
Imagine just typing that in the AI. They gotta have that, right? What's the best play to run against cover 3 when they're
100%?
and then you can like wait, but like this defensive end, like crank up their stats, like almost like
Yeah.
Madden stats, and then what's the best play to run against?
I'm about to try that on Chat GPT right now, or GPT, I think.
Yeah,
it is.
what's the best play to run in man coverage, or like what is best defense to go when they're in twins? Because you got to think they have to do something. Why wouldn't you? I would. It's like a cheat code.
So just ask it, what is the best pass play to beat cover 2? It says to beat a cover 2 defense, you will want to target the areas on the field that the 2 deep safeties are responsible for covering. Post route, deep middle, seam route, and it says how it works, why it works.
Oh wow,
Dude, that whole list. 6 routes that would beat cover 2. That's crazy. And that's just a simple question. You can layer your
give me
questions
more.
with it.
Give me
Yeah.
more. Did you guys hear about that thing with AI where they kept asking it to be happier and happier and happier?
Mm-mm.
You guys didn't hear about this? So
No.
it's this. So they said someone put in, show me a picture or create a picture of a bunny that's really happy, and then they kept going at it like, no, it's got to be happier. Make it happier. Like, no, that's not happy enough. Like, and it kept going, and it turned into this like God figure of like the universe that like was coming. It showed like the beginning of happiness. It was you got to look it up one day.
Holy shit.
If you're just chilling in bed, just look up like the bunny happiest like AI thing.
There's another one that
It's crazy.
insane.
so like
Yeah.
with what Elon's trying to create, he's creating like a AI chat thing on Twitter. I guess it's called like Grok, or I don't know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Grok.
But he was like talking about it on Rogan's. He was like, "Yeah, we can do it right now," and he was like trying to make it tell like a super vulgar joke, and it was like, and he like just type this, and then Elon would be like, "All right, now add more and more vulgar, or more." Funny or whatever, and then he'd like, all right, now capitalize more, and like he just kept going with it, and it started getting worse and worse and worse, and it was like, oh god. It's crazy what it can do. Like, it's crazy how the AI learns off of the things that you tell it.
It's gonna be the future, man.
Yeah,
Everyone's
We
gonna
just
have
talked
a
about it a
little
little
AI
bit.
robot in their house.
for sure.
We already have them in a way. I mean, an Alexa is essentially like an AI thing.
In a sense,
You
yeah.
talk to something that tells you, like, plays music for you, or
Always listening.
schedules your fucking groceries.
The only thing about Alexa is it will have the same response if you ask it the same question.
They're
AI,
not. It's not constantly learning.
Yeah, AI. Its answers will get different each time.
Yeah.
I don't, for me, like I don't care if things are listening to what I got going on at this point.
Yeah.
Like unless I'm into some like sketchy shit, then like maybe. But like
Right.
I don't plan on getting into that stuff.
I'm not
or
going to be
like,
running drugs for the cartel,
yeah.
so I'm not worried about it.
or making just like millions of dollars. Then I might be like, okay, we got to protect it a little bit.
Do you
Get-
do you ever use AI for work?
oh yeah.
Like if you have like a presentation or like a something like make me an outline for this.
Well, I
or,
do a
like,
ton of like communications out to everybody, and like I'll type out like the big bulk of the information, like what's going on, and I'll literally copy paste it because we have some code where you gotta like erase like the word like NetJets and erase like kind of anything like that. But I'll just be like, make this better. That's all I'll say. Copy paste, make this better, and it just
transforms it. Yeah.
it makes it so nice.
Yeah.
Or I'll be like, add a little bit little bit more
I'm about
fluff
to
to
try it
that
with a
second
podcast
sentence or
script.
something.
I'm gonna write a podcast script and see if like make this flow better, or, like come up with better
or
questions.
make this a compelling story. Or
Yeah.
something. Dude, I'm telling you, it does.
I'm gonna
It's
try it.
Crazy.
Have you done your future yet on that?
What
with
does that
AI?
mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
this was crazy. So like Chat GPT and be like, tell me a story about myself. These are the goals that I achieved, and tell me a story. It's something of that nature. And then it'll like write an entire book like about you. and it is wild.
What?
And it makes you like really want to go after those goals. Like it really does, because it's like, you're sitting at home, family's here, kids are doing homework, like things are great, and it goes on, and it's like, yeah, I'm telling. It writes a book, a legit story about yourself, and dude, it hits you deep.
I literally, my question was, tell me a story about myself. My goal is to win the Super Bowl. That's a whole NFL story, man. Like starting off in high school football as a kid. What?
It's
crazy.
nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah, I could do the same thing again, and it'd be a completely different story.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing about it, man.
Yep.
And that's the thing is like, you could actually use AI to write entire novels. And nobody would know that. Like it's hard to like plagiarize check AI because it's different
You can't
every time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you should like I've messed around with AI just laying in bed. I'll just type crazy stuff just to see what happens. I
started messing with it on my computer. I have it's called Microsoft Copilot, and I was telling him I started asking like random questions to it and seeing like what it'd say, and like I played around with it a little bit, but not. I try to catch myself because I'm like, I need to be actually working right now, not talking to this imaginary thing.
Even like if you type in your goals or whatever, then be like, all right, give me a 10-step outline on how to achieve this goal, and then you could take each one like separately and then like walks you through it.
I did it with journaling.
I'm an author now, man.
It's
I'm about
wild.
to write my first book with AI.
I'm gonna have it plan a volleyball tournament for me.
You should ask it. Be like, hey.
Plan this, or the prizes are the big thing. I never know what to do because like I've already done click tumblers 2 years in a row now, so I'm like, I want something different. But I'm like, I looked last year and I was like, I can't fucking find anything that would be cool. So for 6 people, that's the thing, is like you can't just get one. Like I couldn't get like a cooler for 6 people, so like I was like, I have to have something for everybody, but I don't want to break the bank kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
AI's drafting my fantasy team next year, and I will win the championship. Just letting you know.
How would you do that?
It's hard to have AI go against human, like.
True, because it would just be straight stats.
It just tell you the top
stats.
player or the
Yeah.
available.
And
Probably.
they draft CMC first, and we know he's gonna get hurt. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
Kidding, that sucks.
Yeah, dude, AI is wild.
it is, man.
It's wild.
If you were the first pick of the draft, would you have drafted CMC?
I did in another league, and it screwed me over. I've won 1 game the entire season. But I also have the most points scored against me by like 300. Like I've been getting smoked.
It's the worst.
Like people are putting up like the first week someone put up 175, next week someone put up 190 on me.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like dude, even if I had a great team, I'm still not winning those games, you know?
Wow. Yeah.
That was the most expensive league too. Like
You guys ever done these?
Ons. Yeah.
These ons?
Yeah.
A little stronger than Zins.
Dude, my son hit me with a dagger like last week because my Cannon Grizzly was setting out, and he picks it up, and I was like, hey, like don't touch that. And he's like, what does cancer mean?
Yep.
I'm like, well, it's just, really bad disease type thing and whatever. He's like, but this says it can give you cancer. I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, why do you do it then? I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yep.
I'm done. So going to these freaking little on pouches.
The same thing happened to my boss, and it was the same exact thing. His daughter picked it up and went, this says it gives you cancer. And he's like, yeah. And he was like, you'd think that you wouldn't do it if it could give you cancer. And he was like, you know what? Sugar gives you cancer too. Shut up.
So is your goal to like quit completely?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely stop.
I stopped vaping. Like my last day vaping was, well, again, because I've quit before, it was last Saturday. Been about a little over a week now. I hit Coles a few times, but I'm not buying them anymore.
You just get wild dreams after you stop, like tobacco and
Mine's usually
nicotine.
the nicotine. It's the little bit of like anger. Things set me off. Day 3.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Day 3 that usually it's like, I'm pissed at the world right now.
Mine is me in the morning. Because
Yeah.
usually I'm
Driving to work.
driving to work, just getting ready, like after a workout or something. Then I get like that's prime time to put in a lip.
Yeah.
And then I get just balled up, just anger,
on
man.
it,
Dude,
Yeah.
you don't realize how much of a habit and like how much of a routine you have with it until you quit it. It was the same. Like for me, like when I used to get in my car when I quit, I'd reach for my back pocket and I'd be like, oh fuck, I don't chew anymore. Crap. Okay. So, but I mean,
I noticed that this whole week at work, bro. Like while working, I was like reaching in my like feeling for my pocket. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. You know, it's weird. It's like a habitual action. You know,
it's true that it becomes addictive. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Oh yeah.
Hey, ChatGPT, how do I stop?
What is the best way?
Cold turkey.
Yeah.
How do you stop like a normal human being?
Man up and quit.
Yeah. I don't know. The college world is fucking nuts right now. It's going to be an exciting playoffs. I'm pumped for it. But
even NFL's real interesting this year too.
I don't know who the hell is going to win the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Pittsburgh Steelers, baby.
Oh God. With Russell Wilson,
dude.
Or Justin Fields, you never know.
Dude. Mr. Unlimited.
I am a big Russell fan though.
Dude,
you can't not like him.
He's a cool guy, man.
Steelers country, let's ride.
And it just makes me so happy that like, man, like the Broncos really like shit on him, man. Like really tried to like dig him into the dirt. And like Pittsburgh is notoriously like a place where people come and like it's a good organization, man.
Tomlin's never had a losing season.
And it's just a good organization, bro. They take care of their people. So like that's why I like the Steelers so much. It's like, of course, like I grew up watching them, but it's more or less now that I see other organizations that the Steelers, like, it's a good one, bro.
I was honestly really surprised when they pulled Fields and put Russ in. I was like, that is a bold move. And then Russ came out and balled out. I was like, pissed, oh my God.
And then Mike Tomlin was like, this is why I'm well compensated. I was like, hell yeah, Mike. Oh yeah, talk your
Have
shit.
you been to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
I like Pittsburgh a lot.
I
That's one of my favorite cities to go to.
100%.
Dude, all the bridges and everything's like kind of down, like all the rivers and just the hills, and it's a really cool little
really
town.
Far drive either.
No.
2 hours?
Yeah.
2.5 hours, I think.
What's crazy though is like you could go 2 hours and be in Pennsylvania, but you could also go 6 hours and still be in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah,
it's insane. Yeah. It's also the same in Ohio. You could drive 2 hours and be in a different state, or 2 hours and you're not even to the bottom of the state yet.
Yeah,
Ohio, it's so different. I feel like the east side of Ohio is completely different than the west side. The north side is completely different than the south side.
100%.
What, the north side had like freaking 6 inches of snow not too long ago. More than 6 inches.
You go north, it's flat and lots of snow. Then you go south and it's like super hilly and like woods and just forests.
And poverty.
In poverty.
Yeah.
And lots of heroin down south. Jesus.
Dude, Ohio is a weird state. Like you have every season in it and you have every class in it. Like Columbus has some of the richest people around. Cleveland has it too. And then it also, like, even within Columbus, you have homeless people just all over the place.
I mean, dude, yeah, like I live like downtown, and like I don't live in like a nice part of downtown by any means. Like my car gets broken into at least once a week. I just leave it unlocked at this point. But
it saves money.
Yeah, I just leave it unlocked.
Just don't break my window.
Dude,
just go ahead.
There's a house 2 doors down from mine they have a Lamborghini, bro. Like he just speeds it like down the street like every day. Like they obviously have a garage. It's like a nice ass house. Like we live in a townhouse, but there's like houses on the street as well. Nice ass house and fucking Lamborghini, bro.
Jeez.
She's probably the one breaking into your car. How do you think
afford it? Yeah, what the hell? I don't know what he's getting from me. I'll trade him cars, man. I definitely will.
Pink slips?
Yeah, literally.
Well, I went to New York like 3 months ago, November. And have you guys ever been to New York, New York City? It makes now I realize how tiny Columbus is.
Really?
It's the biggest city for us because that's what we know.
It doesn't make any sense. That was my first time ever going. It doesn't make any sense how big it is.
There's just no trees probably either. Right?
There's nothing. It is literally, because we went to the top of the World Trade 1 is what it's called. It's like the memorial for whatever, and we're at the for whatever.
Okay, a little dark there, but
we're like the really bad thing that happened to us. We're like the 120th floor, and you just get a sky view of all of New York, like the Bronx, and like everything is just laid out. It was nuts. It's like looking at Columbus and just like multiplying it, like back to back to back to back to back, a full 360 view of just that. Massive buildings, just chaos everywhere. I don't know how people do that. I
it,
get the appeal.
Does it actually smell like shit there too? I've heard it smells like shit. Or does that have
It didn't smell like good.
Yeah, that have like a distinct smell.
I don't know. I didn't really catch the smell.
Fair. I feel like, dude, every person that's ever been to New York, they always tell me like it smells there, which I would assume probably because one, it's like all the like just traffic, like cars wise, all of that, and then like trash too in New York is probably insane.
That was
Isn't there
bad.
like a huge like rat problem in New York?
Giant rat problem.
Rats and dude, there's just mass people. Because we were by all the memorials and stuff, so just the tourists, like, and it was like right before the big UN like conference.
So, like, I couldn't do that. I'm not a big people person. Like when I get a lot of people in a room, I'm like, I want to leave.
Yeah, same. It was a bit overwhelming. I had no idea it was like that. You've got to go.
Yeah,
at least once.
That's what I've always heard. Like with a lot of those big cities, it's just like you have to go experience it once, but it's not somewhere necessarily that everybody would want to live, or like it's one of those you need to experience it, but it's not somewhere that you want to stay the rest of your life.
I'd want to go back as a tourist because I went for business, so I'd want to go back as a tourist and like
kind of get to go
get
around
a feel
a little bit
for
more.
Right.
See the cool stuff like the Statue of Liberty and like different buildings and
yeah, that'd be cool.
The lifestyle in New York too is just completely different. Like I feel like everyone's so like just get to where you're going type deal. Probably not like, you know, in Ohio or like the Midwest, like everyone seems to be pretty friendly. I've heard that like obviously in a big city like that, people probably aren't that friendly.
You're not walking down the street going, hi, hey, how you doing? How are you? Yeah. No, you're walking down the street going, get the fuck out of my way.
Right. Like I got somewhere to be, you know.
Did it seem like on the streets, like a lot of people just honestly on their phone, or were they just kind of like walking?
There was a lot on the phone for sure. It was just mass people everywhere.
It's like a giant concert all the time.
Everywhere. And the traffic, like you don't understand traffic. Like, and the way that these New Yorkers drive,
they don't give a
fuck.
They're just get the hell out of my way.
It's crazy. And the guy who like took us there, just like some program that we do, we like go to the airports out there, but he's done it like 10 times. This program, so he's like, I'm driving because I know how to drive this and like whip things around. It was crazy. Highly recommend.
I don't do well in like Columbus traffic, so I definitely would not do well in New York traffic.
But have you guys ever been to Washington D.C.?
Yeah,
it's 8th grade.
Yeah, in 8th grade.
Oh,
yeah,
like
or 5th grade. What is it? 5th grade or 8th grade?
Oh, was it a 5th grade? No.
I think it was 5th grade that I went. I don't.
Nah, dude, it was middle school because we all
were
together.
Grade. Yeah, I was 8th grade.
Dude, DC was not what I expected at all. I was expecting like similar to New York because we went to the Commanders game, the Browns versus Commanders, and we just hopped on the scooters and we're just whipping around everywhere. And it's like every building's the same height.
Yeah,
everywhere. It's super weird. Like I had no idea DC was like that.
I wonder if it's like something to do with like
I think it like
almost like an HOA type thing.
Yeah,
not like an actual
someone
HOA,
told me why they have to be like below a certain height.
Does it have something to do with like politically, like with like having that many political people, like so that you don't have a World Trade Center?
It could be. I don't know. But DC was cool.
That or like so you can't be super high on a roof or something. I don't know. Probably something or planes wise. Who knows? Yeah.
And every building looked the same too. So like
structurally,
yeah. So like all these buildings look the same. Like that one's like full of FBI or that one's full of like CIA. Like you just don't know it because on the exterior it all looks like just normal buildings. I'm sure on the inside it's like steel plated. Yeah.
Like you're hitting the mystery box every time you open the door there. It's like shit. I don't know what's in here, but we'll see.
Now DC smelled like shit.
Did it?
I remember DC smelling terrible. Bad.
Where like travel wise, like if you could move one place, what would it be?
West. I'm west.
Have you ever been somewhere super west though?
Furthest west I think I've been Indiana. It's not super far, but
Indiana's the furthest west.
I've gone more east. I like our family vacations. We go east, so like, and I don't have a job that we go west for anything. Right. So, yeah, I mean, I think the furthest I've been is Indiana. Off the top of my head, Illinois,
Chicago.
I think I have been to Illinois. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I mean, I want to go to like Montana, Wyoming. If like I had to move somewhere and like I had the money to do it and could live off the grid, it'd be Montana,
fair.
Wyoming, Idaho, somewhere out that way.
So I'm going on a river somewhere, like Norris Lake type of Tennessee. Like I want to. Like if I had my dream house, it'd be like a massive fucking lake house.
Dude,
Yeah.
lakes are so sick.
Lake
And
life.
like not a Buckeye lake. We're talking a nice like clean
Yeah.
lake.
Or like dude, private lakes are where it's at. Like where you don't have like people just going to the lake to like fuck it up, drink, all that. It's like only people like who live on the lake can go in the lake.
That's how Norris Lake was, because there's no like public ramps.
Right.
So
You have to have a
everything's
dock.
private.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to have
That's
a dock
how-
or know somebody or
Yeah,
something.
Apple Valley. That's how that you have to have a special sticker on your boat. And like if you can get popped, then they'll tell you to get the hell out of the water if you
Right.
don't have the sticker. But yeah, like we went to camping in Hocking Hills this past summer, at Lake Logan. Dude, that honestly, I think it's a public lake, but we went out. You can rent kayaks and just go out on the lake from the place we stayed, and we went and rented them for like 2 hours, and it was like super cheap. But dude, it's like glass when you're out there.
It's
like
so
there's
awesome.
like hardly any boats, and like the boats that are going through there, they're just like fishing, so like they're just trolling
Going
around.
slow, yeah.
But dude, it is insane. And, like there was a sunset and it started to rain, but like it's just like straight glass, and it's like that is a lake that I like.
And
I don't
there's
like the
no
lakes that are
sharks.
fucking.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, I would hope.
There's just giant catfish.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll float out there.
Yeah,
All
literally.
day I'll float out there. I'll get little nibbles on my feet. That's fine.
Go noodling.
Let alone the freaking taking my
Grab
foot
it.
off.
Dude, I want a noodle so bad. I want to try it.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do it, but it looks crazy,
Dude,
though.
have you ever seen a chick, Hannah Barron, that does it?
Yeah. I
She's
have.
insane. She's like fucking this tall, I think. Like she just gets down there and she laughs. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's a good one." She'll like they'll be biting her and she's like just laughing, and then she pulls out this like 200-pound catfish, and you're just like, "What in the world?" I just want to do it one time though.
It would be crazy.
I'd be
That'd
scared.
freak me out.
I just don't even know how you find them. Like, I don't even know how you do
You got to
it.
find their holes, I guess. Like they walk around and like kind of feel them with their feet,
Oh,
and then like
like
but
a
that's the
snapping
thing.
turtle? Imagine that, though.
Yeah, you're
like,
sticking your arm into a freaking hole. You don't
Yeah.
know what's in there.
Yeah.
That's the part I'd have to like psych myself up to do is like, all right, just stick your arm in there. Just do it.
Yeah, they can keep doing that. I'm not doing it, man. No.
Would you rather go noodling or alligator hunting?
I have a gun when I'm alligator hunting?
Right. But have you remember the alligator dudes?
Yeah, I don't know.
They
if I-
flop into the boat and stuff.
Oh, that's true.
Nope.
I'll go alligator hunting in a tank.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It pulls up to the bank.
Yeah, literally.
Yep,
Like,
that one's dead.
yep, you're not living. Or from a helicopter.
I want to
Uh,
do some
Snipe 'em.
wild hog hunting. Like they literally go up in the helicopters with ARs.
Dude, that
And they're
shit
just mow 'em
popping
down.
up. Yeah, dude, that
They are
shit's
such a
insane.
nuisance.
Yeah, no, like I get pissed when people go on like controlled hunts for like exotic animals like lions
Yeah.
and shit like that. Like, dude, fuck that. But for like nuisance things of like hogs, 'cause
People
the
don't
hogs
understand.
destroy
They are
shit.
such a problem.
And they'll attack them. They'll attack you in an
Oh, yeah.
instant too, bro.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how bears are getting now. Bears are getting out of control.
For real? Where?
Yeah.
Can I pet that
Like-
dog?
All out west, Colorado area.
Oh,
like
shit.
they're getting really bad. And same with like the Tennessee kind of area too.
Have you seen like people? The Rogan makes fun of people a lot. They pull up videos of like tourists that like try to pet them or like take pictures with them, and all of a sudden like this bear or moose or bison like charges them and like almost
Mangles
kills
them.
them.
Yeah.
So
and it's
dumb.
like, yeah, you idiot, it's a wild animal that could kill you. Like if I saw a moose, I'd be like, I'm staying in my car and I'm backing up so he doesn't damage my car, because he could easily flip it. Honestly,
So are there grizzlies in Colorado? Or is it just or like where are grizzlies?
I know they're out west.
Because
Pacific-
grizzlies are
brown-
the
more like
biggest
biggest
ones,
ones.
right?
More Pacific West, I think.
Okay.
Or Pacific Northwest. Like
and then like we
Oregon
have black
type.
bears like southern like south.
There's been black bear sightings in Heath even, but
Oh, really?
they're not like usually big ones. They're
Oh.
smaller. Like nothing. Black bears, I mean, obviously they're still dangerous, but they're not like super huge.
Well, those are the ones that if you stand up and make yourself big, like typically they
They'll-
would.
yeah.
like,
But
go
they're
away.
typically the more aggressive ones.
I
black
think
bears.
they are.
The grizzlies aren't more aggressive unless like you're in territory or they got cubs or something.
That's the big
okay.
thing. If you ever walk up on a bear for some reason, and if you see cubs, get the fuck out of there, because you do not want to see
It's
the
too
mama.
late if you see cubs.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
like,
if
well,
you see the
true.
mama, you're likely dead.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you just see the cubs, then you're probably dead as well, because
Yeah.
then the mom's probably behind you.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
just
she's
start
just like-
hooking it, man.
But that's the other thing. Aren't you not supposed to run?
That's why I'm gonna stay away.
Yeah.
Well, they're fast. They're super fast, and they can climb trees, dude. So like, where are you gonna go?
They're huge, strong. Like you have no chance.
I just hope I'd have like an RPG on me. Just
That honestly, that's one of the things. Like going out, if I go out on this elk hunt, I'm like, what else are we gonna see? And like, if I want video and pictures of this
Yeah, you
stuff,
better be
but, like,
carrying.
I better be using my microscopic
yeah.
lens. Like, I want this giant lens to be taking the pictures, not that one.
yeah, you definitely need to carry when you're out there.
Yeah, a lot of them do.
Yeah,
But I mean,
have
then
to.
they have to go through the game warden and everything. If you kill one, you have to prove that it's self-defense. Otherwise,
bear?
they can fine you.
I mean, brother.
But it's because if anybody could claim self-defense, if you shoot it, like, if I shot it from all the way, 100 yards away and then walked up and
Where'd you get a bear tag too?
Yeah,
Get an elk
so
and a bear
expensive.
tag. Never know. Oh yeah, I'm sure
those
they're
are over the counter, and it's hard sometimes to get. A lot of them are, what do they call lottery picks.
I just don't I don't know how the hell you like that. That just confused me. How do you prove self-defense against a bear, buddy?
Have you ever watched Yellowstone, buddy?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
What, it happens a lot of people poaching bear.
Well, yeah, it can, and like you're also not allowed to bait bear in certain states. You're not allowed to bait to hunt in certain states.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree, dude. I agree with that. Like with exotic animals too, though.
Yeah,
Like baiting a lion into like something to where you can just shoot it freely. Fuck that, dude. You should be on an even playing field.
Yeah.
If you actually want to hunt these things, like
do it like the
it's
Indians.
it's you versus the lion. Whoever, if he finds you first, sorry, like you wanted to hunt him.
You're trespassing, so
Yeah,
they,
you are,
they
that's
have
the
they
thing.
have every right to come after you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like what the hell? You're already like they're already at an unfair advantage. You have a gun.
Yeah,
Like they have to get close enough to you to actually hurt you.
I think in certain states too, the game warden, if you shoot like a bear, they will cut the stomach open to see what's in it, and if they find like corn or things like that,
Ooh.
they'll take the bear away from you. You won't get it at all. So they'll look and make sure it's like berries and fish or whatever and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, and like you mentioned, like the lottery thing. I'm pretty sure for like some like bear. I don't know if it's bears, but for some type of like maybe hunting moose, you put your name into a drawing and like they draw who gets to actually hunt.
Because
that year.
it's becoming a thing where everybody wants to do it.
Oh yeah, of
So
course.
it's some states are lotteries, some states are over the counter. You can just buy a tag. It depends on the animal too. But like Ohio, like if anybody can go hunt a whitetail in Ohio. And it's, in my opinion, that's not I was reading a thing today on one of the Facebook posts and people were like bashing out of state hunters, and it's like, really, why is it a big deal? Like, first off, we have way too many freaking deer in Ohio anyway, like, and we have less hunters anymore, so like, what does it really matter? Sorry that your deer got shot. It's not a fucking your deer, it's a wild animal.
Yeah, literally.
I saw another one that this dude posted his nephew or grandson shot like this giant buck, and the neighbor was pissed, like super pissed, because it was his deer.
trail.
And it's like, this 8-year-old shot the biggest buck of his life that is something he's going to remember the rest of his life, and you're trying to be an asshole because it's your deer.
Oh, was it on the dude's property?
It was on
or
their
something?
neighbors. So like the neighbor was the one that was pissed, and it's
Yeah.
like, no, I shot it on my property, and like,
Just happened to be over here
Yeah.
today.
should have
Dude,
fed it better.
That shit gets really sticky when it comes to like property lines and
Oh,
hunting
yeah.
and shit, man. It's crazy.
The
like,
biggest typical deer in Ohio was shot 2 years ago, I think. It just got taken away from him. Found out he poached it.
no way.
Shot it on somebody else's property.
Wow.
A fun fact, Snapchat saves everything. Doesn't matter if you delete it or not, it is saved in a database.
Snapchat?
Snapchat saves everything. FBI, if they want something off Snapchat, they can get it. And
Oh, like so every snap you send?
I don't really Snapchat that much. I'm good. I don't know about you boys.
I mean, I'm personally good, but I'm just thinking about holy shit, dude.
they save everything. Damn. Yeah. So that was actually where a lot of that stuff from that big buck, he was talking to his girlfriend on Snapchat, and he was like, we're not going to get caught. Like, well, like, and he deleted it, but no, it all came to resurface.
Damn.
And he got taken away.
Yeah, I can never run for president.
He got fined. And
Yeah.
good thing Donald Trump didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
think that dream's gone,
Yeah.
fellas.
Yeah, I don't think that politics is in my
wheelhouse?
No, I don't think it's something. Maybe a city council in the future. That might be the extent of it.
I think mine, volunteer firefighters probably the most of the
my son's youth league, like baseball committee. That's about all I'll go.
Well, boys, anything else?
No. Yeah, it's good
back
catching
together.
up.
Yeah.
We'll have to do another one eventually at some point.
You guys are good dudes, man.
Hey, likewise, man.
It's hard to it's easy. I think it's easy to find good people, but once you actually find the good people to like hang out with, it's pretty fucking cool.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then it takes like a special person to see somebody and not immediately judge them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like who's going to be the person to look at somebody, see through the bullshit, and actually like see that there's like a genuine person in there. That's a tough thing to do, because I feel like so many people just dismiss people so quick.
yeah.
It's like, oh, they did this one thing, gone. It's like, come on. Like, you got to be able to see through some bullshit, and you got to be able to see that they had a bad day or something.
Right.
Or they had, maybe, how many times have we said something, we're like, should not have said that, or maybe I was being a dick today, or like,
Right.
Easy to see you guys are good people.
Yeah,
Just saying.
It was Aaron Rodgers actually just talked about it on a podcast or something. I saw a clip of it where he said, think about it. Your best friends are allowed to fuck up a lot. They're allowed to make a lot of mistakes. If that wasn't your best friend, they made that one mistake, you probably dismissed them.
Yeah.
Your best friends can mess up as many times, not as many times as they want, but they can mess up a lot more than your acquaintance per se.
Yeah.
Now there's still the fool me once type of statement.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm only gonna give you a couple chances here.
Right.
It's no different than an employee at work or something like that. Like you can make that mistake one time, but listen, next time, like it's gonna become an issue.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know better than that. But that's all we got for today's Roughnecks Roundtable. That was another great one. I love the roundtables.
Yeah.
Just because we never really have a topic in mind. We just kind of roll with it.
It's the best part about it.
Shoot from the hip.
Yep. That's what we're best at.
Yeah.
Us three especially. I don't think we ever really planned out an episode. I think we sent 3 texts about what we were going to talk about. I'm like, yeah, we'll run with it.
We'll figure it out.
I love it. But until next time, you guys know the deal. Life is hard and it's going to knock you down just like a bull does to a bull rider. Don't let that bull of life walk all over you. Get up, grab the bull by the horns, and take control of your life. Roughnecks out.